Hello, and thank you for tuning in. I want to start this segment by offering my deepest sympathies and condolences to all those affected by the recent attack in Las Vegas. There are not enough words in my vocabulary to adequately respond to the anguish everyone must feel, including myself. I offer my prayers for everyone and their families. Words are not enough. Nothing is enough, but all I can offer is whatever support I'm capable of. The whole situation is terrible. The vile individual that carried out this attack, I won't mention his name on this program because that's what he wanted. He wanted people to remember his name. I won't do that. I won't offer that. I might remember it, as I haven't mastered the art of forgetting everything. Unfortunately, I know his name. Hopefully forget it over time, but I'll never honor his last cowardly wish, and that's to be remembered. I won't provide his name nor his image, as I feel they would give him the satisfaction he wanted in his last cowardly moments. I will tell you that he is and was a complete coward, and a violent nobody who wished and executed harm upon people that were just enjoying life. I don't believe he was psychologically ill, and I don't think rehab is the answer. He was a coward, a loser, and he knew it. That's why he meticulously planned and executed this madness and violence upon people that were just enjoying themselves. He did it in such a manner as to reveal himself as nothing more than just a coward. Enough said about that. The response from the first responders was and remains awesome. Considering the difficulty and the timing, I doubt any swifter and more efficient response was realistic, nor was it possible. And many of the people from all over our country rushed in and assisted in however they're able to do so. I think that's awesome and it's amazing. Shows that there is real unity in our country, among our people, among our culture. Despite our differences, division is much weaker than the unity we show when there's something that we all believe in and we all want to help, we all want to assist in whatever way possible, and I think that's incredible. There were some, however, that chose to politicize this, and that's sad. We all knew it was coming. Instead of offering constructive assistance and instead of offering prayers, they took this as a chance to campaign their political platforms. It is understandable to be angry, and it is understandable to want justice, and it is understandable to want this to never happen again. I'm still angry. I still never want to see this happen again. Let me take some time to bring to light some of the people who chose to politicize this. At the expense of the feelings for all those affected by this and their families, these people selfishly took this as an opportunity to be political instead of constructive. The most obvious, let's start with Hillary Clinton. I'm not sure why she feels like her opinion's important. She's proven that she's incapable of making good decisions. The examples are endless with Benghazi, with Russia, and so much more. She's proven she's a coward and refuses to accept responsibility for any of her actions, always wants to place the blame. In my opinion, she's a murderer and one of the least qualified to ever hold a leadership position, and she proves my point with everything she does. In her words, Las Vegas, we are grieving for you. The victims, those who lost loved ones, the responders, and all affected by this cold-blooded massacre. Okay, she should have stopped there. But she wanted to grab everyone's attention first. With her first insincere message, then she used her audience to platform her politics. Next message. The crowd fled at the sound of gunshots. Imagine the deaths if the shooter had a silencer, which the NRA wants to make easier to get. So she now goes after the NRA. She grabs her audience, but now she goes after the NRA. What a surprise. How insensitive. Clear the investigation was still going on at the time she sent these messages, and there's still so many people unaccounted for. And she's worried about the NRA and gun control and whatever else her political platform is. What a sad excuse for a person, really. The NRA had nothing to do with this. Plus, if she had any real knowledge about silencers in the first place, she'd know that they just reduce or muffle the sharp sounds from the gunfire. Every shot would have still been very audible. Clearly, she is either very ignorant or she's just hoping the rest of the world is. And then we have the other irrelevance of the world, like the Seth Rogans and the late-night talk show hosts. All of them suddenly become experts on the situation and factually claiming that new gun laws are needed. Well, actually, the facts are much different than they claim. Again, they're either very ignorant or more than likely they just hope everyone else is. To answer their new gun law initiative, let's think about facts, not just angry opinions. The weapons this killer used were all illegal. What would new laws do? So he was breaking the laws already. Making the guns more illegal means nothing. Plus, he took his own miserable life, so he didn't really respect the laws because he doesn't have to answer for his crimes. He had no plans of answering or becoming accountable for anything he did. Silencers or no silencers, we don't even really know because the investigation is still active. And as of this broadcast, the only modifications to the weapons were bump stocks. which allowed fully automatic discharge. Again, not legal, and new laws wouldn't have done anything but make it more illegal. Still would have had access. He still would have committed these crimes, and people still would have died. Nothing new with new gun laws and new silencer laws or attacking the NRA for no reason. The way I see it, when people blame the guns for the crime, they're really just making emotional statements. I try to give them a little credit there. They truly must believe that if guns were outlawed altogether, that criminals and those planning criminal activities will somehow become magically unarmed. Criminals are not going to find a way. Well, criminals do find a way. They want to hurt people, they're going to find a way to do it. With cars or bombs or guns, knives, they're going to find a way. Criminals will find a way. Laws are not necessarily part of their playbook. That's a fact. I mean, if you want to outlaw guns completely, why not go after his footwear? Maybe he had work boots on so he could continue his rampage without having to worry about the broken glass under his foot. Do we need new footwear laws now? Or maybe the tighty-whities he was wearing maybe made him so secure and comfortable that he was able to carry out his madness in comfort. Do we need tighty-whitey laws? Truly, new laws are not the solution. New laws would not have prevented any of this from happening or taking place. I'm really not trying to make light of this serious situation. It's very serious. It's simply annoying that some people use this as an opportunity and use their popularity as an opportunity and use their direct press access as an opportunity to politicize something as horrible as this, when they could be using their unique positions for useful and constructive purposes. Most of us in America know the truth, and most of us expect garbage talk from the loudest and most ignorant, the Hillarys of our country, if you will. But let me offer another perspective. I'm married to a foreigner. When we first met, she didn't want anything to do with coming to America. She truly thought America was a great big killing field and that everyone needed guns to protect themselves from all the gun-wielding criminals. We really believed this. This is the effect all this nonsense from celebrities and corrupt loser politicians have on the world. We see it as useless banter. But when it's coupled with the propaganda pouring out of the mainstream media into these international communities around the world, it becomes believable to outsiders because they can't understand how we, as such a great country, allow such fabricated and orchestrated and fictional dialogue to ooze onto the international airwaves. I've explained to my wife that we have free speech, so it's everyone's right to speak freely and legally. It is just shameful in my mind that we, as a country, continue to support and sponsor such nonsense. I don't think we should censor any of it. Free speech is awesome, but I simply wish we wouldn't support it. Without sponsorship and support, it will become less profitable, and maybe the truth will actually become the norm and become more encouraging for all those spewing such fabrications to the international world. This is a very short broadcast, I know. I do want to go back to the investigation. As I was preparing for this broadcast, I followed along with the investigation very thoroughly, with all the sources that I had anyway. It seems this event was planned for a while. I found it very disturbing that investigators were so quick to dismiss this guy's girlfriend or his companion or whoever she was, dismiss her as a person of interest. Sure, she was out of the country, but it doesn't seem likely that he could have kept all those weapons and explosives and chemicals secret from her. She was living with him. I think she knew about it, and that needs further investigation, in my opinion. Also, there was a rumor that some woman was in the crowd claiming that everyone was going to die before the concert. Where is she now? She might just have been some doomsayer. I think she needs to be included in this investigation. It's highly likely that his girlfriend got out so she would appear to have the best alibi. Oh, I'm out of the country. I didn't have anything to do with it. Plus, getting her back from the Philippines is going to be a terrible task. We might not even be able to find her. We know for a fact that this guy sent a large amount of money to the Philippines recently, and I'm betting it was to help her disappear. This whole situation reeks, and I wish the best for those investigators. Hope they find the truth behind all this. The truth is the best means of reducing the possibility of repeated events, not useless laws that the criminals are going to ignore anyway. We find out the truth, and maybe we can find out something that might help us in the future. These events are probably never going to go away. There's always going to be criminals, and they're always going to try and get around the law. Most of them are going to have trouble, but those that don't have trouble are going to create the most chaos. I'll go ahead and end this segment on this note. I know it's very short. Please let me know your comments, feedback, and suggestion. You can also find me on Blog Talk Radio and Podbean. Just look for Intel Report. Thank you again for tuning in.